Love CD. Бедный пацан, кто проиграл прошлую игру, его соперник на той стороне карты, на нижнем левом углу за команду Тайлу, будет наш голубой Протус Джим. Чуть помедленнее, а то комментарии не стусь, как паровоз. Понял. Ну, так и так я пробую быстрее все прокомментировать, чтобы я мог это к английскому языку перевести, потому что сейчас, как есть, я просто знаю я один, кто по английскому и кто по русскому делает, потому что английский стример, что-то я его не вижу. Пока сейчас. Извиняюсь. Ну, я извиняюсь, это я тоже извиняюсь, я знаю, это иногда трудно слушать это, когда так бывает. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, starting at the top right side of the map, it is for World Elite Gaming, it is going to be Love CD, trying to come back into the series, maybe get himself into the winner's match. His opponent down at the bottom left side, last game's winner, with beautiful, beautiful play, it is Tyloo Jim. Also the Protoss player in the blue trunks. Good job by Jim, actually sending a probe really quick down there, making sure that there was no proxy 2-gate. Sometimes you guys, on a map like Daybreak, because it actually is distanced so well, there's actually so many funky builds that you could watch in a PvP build, especially one of the most volatile maps for proxy 2-gate, because as you guys can see, it's hard to tell on the mini-map at the bottom left, but the shadow in the circle, he really needs to make sure he checks out all those areas because there's a lot of dark and shadow areas where you can't actually see at the beginning of the game. So if he's able to sneak a quick probe in and does a proxy 2-gate and it's actually not scouted, it could be a quick win for a certain Protoss player. I mean, it even happens, say, in TVP. I mean, in PvT, happens in PvZ. It doesn't happen often in PvZ because Overlords usually eventually end up scouting something out. So usually in PvT, PvP, usually those are the typical matchups that you see it in. But yeah, I mean, as the game is moving on, this is definitely one of those maps we see Blink Stalkers on, the wide ramps, we see a lot of timing pushes, and also one of these big maps with a lot of airspace that usually we see some kind of Stargate openers, and as we see both players already have double gas, so big potential from both ends. We're going to watch and see. Love City has his a tiny bit later, so most likely that's going to end up being sticking to some kind of composition related to gates, and most likely on the other side for Jim, down here at the bottom left side, he's most likely either going to go some kind of Blink Stalker build, or he's going to go, I still want to say Stargate. And as we see, he's really trying to make sure and get that probe the hell out of that base so he can't scout any additional information. And there we go, right when I said it. Oh, yeah, check that out. Get at me. Stargate getting thrown down. Watch, that would have been a robo throw down. I would have been just like, damn it. Oh, I'm so bad. No, but with a lot of airspace, we do see we do see a lot of Stargate play on this map. Sorry, that was bad on my part. I got a little too excited. As we see on the other side, Love CD is going for a little bit of a 2-gate aggression at the moment, and he might actually have an opportunity here right now. Love CD, Jim does have to be very careful. Really hit his. Yes, yeah, definitely. He has to hit the really nice force field and get additional sentries out so he could continue force fielding also on the bottom of the ramp. Because if in fact Jim does, I mean, if Love CD is able to get in there and get a scout of the Stargate, he could adjust and prepare for it a lot quicker. Now, as we take a look and see, second gate is finishing up. Warp gate upgrade is done, so I'm not sure why Jim hasn't actually turned these into warp gates right now. And oh my god, Love CD is doing a 2-gate aggressive expand, but he has no clue about the Phoenixes. This could actually do so much damage at home, especially if he's got no defenses. And even if he does, a good Phoenix count could actually completely eliminate that and really leave him vulnerable for the time being. Now, Love City kind of pulling back, taking hold of the towers in some of the areas. Here we go, one of the Phoenixes, a couple of the Phoenixes coming on up in there. Oh, he's going to need additional Phoenix reinforcements to actually be able to do some damage right now, and he's got to be very careful with some of his micro as well. Ребята, привет всем, ФСК2 ТВ Дотру, портал, я Чиса Лоджик, сегодня мы на НСЛ группы А, второй день сегодня в раунду 16, и ой-ой-ой, микро, Джим, посмотри твой микро, пацан, или потеряешь твоих Фениксов. Просто интересно, когда я сказал в начале игры, Джим очень быстро 2 симуляторов, очень много газа набрал, очень рано, я ожидал, что, наверное, или он какого-то быстрого робо, или блинк билд, или может Stargate это плей типа пойдет, из-за того, потому что это очень большая карта, очень много воздушного места вокруг, это, ну просто есть очень много земля на вот эту карту, из-за того обычно мы видим это какого-то, хоть бы одного игрока в PvP Феникс открытие. Феникс опенер такой. Ну, сейчас просто Джим пробует это сделать, сколько дэмэджа он, правда, может. Ему надо очень осторожно не терять вот этих фениксов. Они очень-очень будет стоить ему это в лейт гейм и в мид гейм, если он планирует какого-то пуш. Ну, сейчас самое главное, он просто пробует сейчас пробивать его соперника и как-то просто найти это местечко, где он может еще одного проба убивать. Ну, просто так, это каждый проб ты можешь убивать, это все считается, это дэмэдж есть дэмэдж. И вот сейчас одного нашел и улетает. И вот еще одного нашел. И сначала улетает. Просто красивая жесть, это хороший красивый контроль. Потерял это шилд на Феникс, но хп много не потерял, и уже он хорошая комбинация юнитов. Типа он сейчас пойдет двухбазовый 1-1 билд сейчас, потому что сейчас у него Морталов будет, у него будет Стокеры, Зелты, и просто пойдет, когда у него, наверное, будет 3 Имморталов, и вот эти Фениксы, когда придут, они может ли в Стокеров, может ли в центрях, просто все что угодно они может ли пользовать. Значит, очень-очень сильный билд, если ты будешь вот этих Фениксах не терять. Можешь комментить быстрее? Могу, наверное. Могу. Ну вот Джим продолживает сейчас атаку его и убивает просто экономию, сливает это у его соперника. И еще не теряет, просто все время он держит вот этих фениксах, и все, это больше он не добавил. И очень клево, что он еще их не потерял, и столько уже дэмэдж сделал. Пока на той стороне у него просто такая клевая эта армия композиция, и лучше, правда, экономия. Мне интересно сейчас, сколько у него, правда, проб, потому что я чувствую, для Джим у него экономия лучше, чем у его соперника. Не надо быстрее, ладно. Буду сейчас просто так. Alright, so the game is continuing on. Oh my god, is he finally going to get one? No, he will not. Jim is, guys, what I've been just kind of rambling on in Russian is Jim has just been playing beautiful and really not out of his mind, but his micro has been really up there, very top-notch, top 5 Phoenix control, literally doing as much damage as he possibly can, trying to find little angles, trying to pick off any probe here and there, and I mean, just kind of in some of those areas where the probes are walking down, just hitting the perfect hit timings, getting down there, literally picking off a lot of the economy. I wish I saw the units tab because I want to see how many probes not only has Jim picked off, but what kind of unit lead he has with the probes. And again, a big part of saving those Phoenixes, they're actually going to really help out in portions of the late game as well, especially when he gets in engagements. It's kind of like almost a Protoss 1-on-1-esque because he does have that air army with him, and it's going to be able to, I mean, you got options, either you can lift, you can attack the Colossus that your opponent has, but the main part is because he's already knocked down so much of the economy and he's done so much damage, this actually really gives him a lot more strength with his timing push. And as we see already, I mean, with the better economy, we see 2 Colossus already out. For Jim, he's got a couple of Mortals compared to the one of CD, as well as the 1 Colossus for CD. And I mean, look at him. He's just trying to pick off whatever he possibly can right now. Trying to hit the Colossus, but that was a little bit of a mistake. Loses 2 Phoenixes in that. Oh, loses only 1 Phoenix in that engagement. I think that was a little bit of a risky shot. Almost loses another one. Beautiful blink by Love CD. Trying to snipe that bad boy down, but it looks like he won't be able to. And Jim, look at him, man. Jim just being very confident, just playing this macro game, actually grabbing a third base versus wanting to hit a timing push. Even though, I mean, with those Phoenixes, I mean, he knows he has an advantage, so he has to know he has an army value advantage. He could push out and go hit his opponent right now, even while he's taking his third. So, and now with this third getting taken, Jim really should probably do that. I mean, he does have he's got an upgrade lead. He's got an army value lead. He's got to have his third Nexus up sooner. He's already got a second Robo coming up, so he's going to be able to produce double Colossus again. I mean, this is really setting up for another win for Jim at this point. I mean, this is going to be probably a pretty quick 2-0. He's even getting charged at the same time. So he's going to have a quicker third base, a better economy. He's going to have charge. He's going to have better upgrades. He's going to have more Colossus. We see the double Colossus production has started, and actually Jim Love CD as well, too. But the problem is just the economy is too good right now for Jim. Now, Love CD, second game in a row where he's going to try to get that Templar Archives a little bit sooner and maybe try to get a little bit of a better Archon count. Because Archons, again, with shields can do a lot of damage, can soak up a lot of damage, so if you get a nice number of them, they can kind of, not exactly cancel out the Immortals, but, I mean, it just kind of makes it a little bit more of a interesting battle. definitely gives a lot more muscle to the Protoss army and the Protoss composition. Now this is just beautiful. Look at Jim. I mean, just continually harassing, just doing whatever he possibly can. Now he's got a few extra probes for the picking down here. And there's no Blink Stalkers there, so I mean, however much Graviton being, he's going to be able to pick off a few more guys. Every little bit counts. I mean, not only just we're trying to rebuild those probes and all the mining time that he's lost. I mean, this is just beautiful, outstanding play by Jim. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And there we go. I mean, there we go. We get a nice shot of Jim's army, and look at the Colossus, look at the Immortal count, look at everything he's already got. With Jim's advantage, he is going to kind of hang out here for the time being. He's going to get his Templar Archive, so he's going to be able to get his own Archons and his own late game units as much as he wants. Now, something that might be a little bit different, what I haven't seen from Jim right now at the moment, is actually a second Forge from him to get his armor upgrade. So CD is going to have that and going to have that nice little advantage. But ladies and gentlemen, already the fleet beacon going down for Jim, so we're going to see probably a quick mothership out of him. And if anything can change a battle, of course, the Vortex can. And as we see, the fleet beacon's just about done. And once he's going to be able to do that, he's going to get the mothership. He's going to get a lot of energy. And basically, with this huge pack of Colossus and potential future Archons, he should be able to actually just completely annihilate CD if he doesn't anticipate this, if he doesn't see this. Again, if CD does see this, he can just keep a couple High Templars back and keep them back to feed back the mothership, of course, to prevent that from happening. But that still doesn't eliminate the potential threat of having cloaked units just in the middle of the map, and if you don't have any detection to actually see it. So always very dangerous when a mothership's on the map, but in a PvP, because observers are typically always plentiful, usually we see them used to land a vortex. Rarely is there ever a timing where no observer is where no observer is around. So at this point, as we're seeing Jim continually moving on, getting his 3 attack upgrade, Mothership's about to pop out, even now adding an additional couple of mortals, so stopping his Colossus count for the time being, and that could actually be very smart by him, because now he's going to be able to just kind of get a little bit more muscle as well. I would not actually go Immortals, I'd probably go Archons instead, but you know, it's just kind of one of those tricky things. Ever since kind of mid to later part of this year, we're starting to see a lot more late game, mid game, or very late game compositions from Protoss. At one point, there was no such thing as that. A lot of games would end within the 8, 9, 10 minute mark at latest, and that would be the story of PvP for almost a year and a half. So the game has changed substantially. And it's just kind of one of those things that still, by not being a Protoss myself, and by nobody actually making a complete comment or having a total understanding of what exactly you need and what exact numbers you need for an army, it just kind of makes it one of those weird things. And there we go, as we see one observer down, so that kind of makes CD in a little bit of a dangerous position. He does know about the mothership, though, so that is interesting. He should probably keep a couple High Templars just around, in which he's not actually going to form them into Archons. He's going to just utilize them to feed back the mothership, so very smart, I think. I hope that's what he plans. As we see Stargate also going down for Love CD, but again, it's very behind. But his advantage right now that he could utilize is the fact that he does have a little bit of an armor upgrade for himself. I don't know, it's just kind of, it's a really interesting situation. It's very tricky because both players are continuing just to go into a macro game. Jim has had a lot of opportunity throughout this game to actually end it a lot sooner and hit a nice timing. Like, sticking around longer, he actually is putting himself at risk because he has no armor upgrades, and if somehow Love CD is able to get the composition that he wants, it could be a lot more dangerous. But here we go, the mothership does have enough for a Vortex. Where are the High Templars? Because that's what he's going to be trying to aim for right now. Try to hit them with that feedback, and where are they at? I can't see them. There's one at the front. Is he able to hit that feedback? No, he's not. He actually loses that High Templar before he's even able to. Oh my god. Jim is pushing his advantage, and he's pushing through. I don't see. There is an observer. Hits a Vortex. Beautiful. Catches some of the units. Going to be able to take out the forward base as well, but now it's kind of, at this point, it's not exactly the point of no return, but with not a lot of units, no feedbacks to utilize, it's going to be very hard. And there we go, units coming out of the Vortex, already getting a couple splashes on top of them. And now, I mean, just doing the best as possible as he can. He's going to attempt to defend this, but I don't know how well this is really going to work for him. Now, a lot of the Colossus and units are bunched up under the Colossus legs, and Love City is trying to micro out of it because he does have detection, but at this point, I think just way too many damage for way too many units and way too much damage for Jim at the moment, and still a lot of kill units really helping out. GG coming from Love CD, second game in a row.